The only podcast. I thought that was perfect. I mean, it can't really get much better than that, can it? Hello. Halfway done. I'm getting the parenting section now. I went from relationships into parenting. I think the racial identity section was where I had the best craps. Yeah, is that is that in support of, or is that who knows? I would like to say that I do support. I support people having racial identity. Let me ask you something. After that happening, do you believe in God now? Do you think that was an act of God? It's a good question. Do you think running pissed him off? Yeah, didn't you know it was International Waterboarding Day when you made that joke? Really? Nobody came to help you? Oh God. And this is in Cambridge, right? This is in We Care About Other People Cambridge, right? Hey. No?
Walk us through what happened. So you get a call from me.
I was on the tail end of my Zoom science class that I do on Thursday mornings. basically just wrapped up, and I got a frantic phone call from you that you had fallen and injured yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately grabbed a bag of frozen corn and my car keys and my mask, and I hopped in the car. You called me while I was pulling out just to make sure I knew where
Well, I
you
gave
were.
you the wrong street at first in my pain-addled brain. I wasn't even thinking straight, and I didn't want you to come to the wrong place and not find me, and then give up and go home and just be like, "Well, I guess he's fine." That would be terrible.
But yeah, it took me a second, like less than a minute to get to you. We got you in the car. It was enormous.
It was pretty big already. I was worried I broke it. I
You
was.
you had road rash on various parts of your body.
I took a licking, Eli.
Oh God.
The world kicked my ass.
It really didn't. The part of people not helping you is so surprising
It
to
was
me.
really. I mean,
That's the brutal part.
It's literal insult to injury. I mean, like I'm like on the ground, clearly in distress, saying a couple swear words. I'll admit to it. I'm going fuck,
You
fuck,
were
fuck.
weeping.
People are just ignoring me. People walked by while I had my. I took my shoe off. I think even before I called you, I took my shoe off, or maybe after. And I've got this enormous ankle, like that clearly is wrong, and people just like walked around me on the sidewalk.
I'm trying to figure out what I would have done as a stranger
I would have.
pedestrian.
I would have called over at least. At least I would have called over.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I would have gone over to be like, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?"
Would you? Yeah, and would you have kept your distance? Would you have like come within 6 feet, or would you have said "fuck safety"?
I would have approached with a lasso and a net and like a chair from what the circus, where they keep lions away. And
Are you okay, sir?
I would have.
Can I call someone for you? No, no, I even did that, and it like it's not a big deal, but it hurt me. I was already in an emotional state, and I was like, wow, these people just
They don't care.
they don't care about me. A stranger. In a time when anyone could have a communicable disease, it's killing hundreds of thousands of people.
I think where my morality shines the most is when it's like helping an old lady clearly struggling carrying groceries and like crossing the street. And like street side good deeds is what I do best. That's really where all my good deeds are. Like if somebody drops their wallet, I'll be like, "Hey, you dropped your wallet."
Well, that's good. Yeah.
That's about it for like good deeds. So if like you're on the sidewalk, you're in my purview of of helping you.
Eli, do you always return the grocery cart to the grocery cart station?
When I worked at Blanchard's, they have shopping carts. I remember one day my boss told me that they were missing a cart, which is strange. And then I remember that same night I was like going out on the town to the bars and everything, and in a random parking lot further down in Alston, I saw that grocery cart. And I just took a picture of it and sent it to my boss. I didn't return it to the store.
You didn't take it with you.
No, I just left. I said, "Hey, check this out."
Have you ever actually walked an old lady across the street?
No, when I lived in Southie, there was like an old lady. I saw her like drop a bag of groceries in the middle of the street by accident, so I helped her like pick it all back up and bring it up to her third floor apartment.
Did you keep something for yourself, a little finder's fee? Did you
No.
slip an orange out of her bag?
No,
Not even one tangerine.
I stole all of her groceries.
Your fault for being old. You did mention you worked at Blanchard's. You crushed your ankle when you were working at Blanchard's? I'd love to hear about this.
Yeah, I say it seemed a lot worse at the time than what it actually was, but like what happened was so Blanchard's is huge. It's a huge liquor store in Alston, and in the basement is where like all the cargo is, like all the pallets of beer and liquor and everything. And there's one like loading area. There's a freight elevator that you bring stuff into when the trucks come in, and then it goes down a freight elevator to be stored. And it's big enough that we have two forklifts. We have one like smaller one that that you push by hand, and then you have like a much bigger one for like actually hauling full pallets.
Okay. You have to be licensed, I'm sure.
No.
Oh boy.
No, I just got trained for a couple days.
Okay.
On how to use them. I was fairly, but anyway, I was using the smaller motorized one to like put this big when we ordered Corona, it would come in like pallets of like 2,000 or so. We had a lot of Corona, and we were bringing it back, and like I accidentally like pulled two too far back, and the forklift kind of pushed my foot into a pallet of Bud Light, and I could see the foot kind of like go sideways.
Yeah.
But then I immediately like stopped it and like pushed it forward again, but like it hurt a lot. And my boss, a really nice guy, he was like, "Wow, I've never seen a man scream like that before."
Okay. And was that as far as his concern for you went?
No, I got to go home for the next
Okay.
couple of days. It wasn't broken or anything. I kept it raised for 2 days straight, and I just drank wine from the bottle and played Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about it. I don't have an Xbox, and I'm drinking beer from the bottle, but yeah, other than that, I'm doing.
But I've also gotten that's one of 3 injuries I've gotten from Blanchard's. There was another time where I had a wooden pallet fell onto my foot, and it didn't break my toe, but it like broke the nail, and it like blistered and
You got
stuff.
blood trapped between the nails.
Got infected. I had to lose the nail. It grew back. And then another time, a Coors Light keg, a full keg, fell and hit my my wrist.
So, not to put anyone on the spot, but was there like workers' comp involved, or?
I will say with the forklift, I should have gotten it checked out, and I didn't.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I've got some lasting damage in that foot, like specifically on my big toe.
Wait, this was what, 3 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2 years ago, I'd say.
I wonder if there's like a statute of limitations on being able to sue.
I think
Not that you should sue.
I think there is on workers' comp. You have to file within some time of the injury.
Yeah, I think, and they're pretty big about that, so I'm sure.
Well,
that's gone.
I guess they got away with it. I'm sorry that happened to you. That sounds like a hazardous workplace.
It's a great place to be. That 20%. You get 20% off if you work there.
I've never actually. Oh, do you really? That's not bad.
Yeah.
and they don't give you personally an extra percentage off for your numerous injuries. Feels like
I can't say whether they do or do not.
Okay, I see.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I get a larger discount.
I see. Still.
I love Blanchard's. When I was in my 20s and we used to consume a lot more alcohol, I lived with lots of people. We'd get our kegs at Blanchard's.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
I've never been. Sounds like I'd love it.
You would like it a lot.
Hey, wait a minute.
We'll get you in there.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. So yeah, I just wanted to tell everyone about my sprained ankle, and I wanted to apologize if my comments about wearing a mask being like waterboarding insulted anyone, including maybe God. And I've learned my lesson, and I don't want to get hurt again. So thank you very much.
Do you think that means God listens to the podcast?
That would be great if he's one of 100 people who listen to our podcast. Look, since one is the most popular podcast, the best one, maybe God is like a true deep cut podcast fan and likes to hear the real obscure podcasts like this one, which is very obscure, which is freeing in a way because we can say whatever we want. I mean, we shouldn't, but we could if we wanted to, and there would probably be minimal consequences.
But
yeah, we could say butt, we could say asshole, we could say all sorts of fun words. And our parents won't even hear us.
Except mine. Except my mom.
She still listens?
Yeah. Every week.
You like it?
She does.
We gotta get her on here. I'd love to have her.
I can't imagine what it would take for her to tell me that she didn't like it. It would take a lot. It would take a lot of butts and.
So she's never been like, yeah, that when you talked about, I don't know, pooping for like 20 minutes every episode.
She might have some words about my injuries.
Yeah, she might.
Does she not know about all the injuries?
Hey, Betsy. He's fine now.
Sorry, Mom.
He seems fine. He really does.
It might have slipped my mind at the time.
Mothers worry. It's best to,
Would she want to come back on the show?
Oh, most definitely.
Via Zoom?
I'd
love that.
Yeah, she would love to do that actually.
And would your new lady girl like to ever be on the show one day?
I should ask her.
She her lady girl.
Not to her, no.
That's her name, I assume.
She does listen to the podcast.
Does she?
She does.
Hi.
So I guess I'm going to be admitting that I didn't listen to the last episode, but
That's okay.
Weren't you on the last
Eli
episode?
Met someone?
No, she was on the last episode. Yeah, Eli's
Oh.
been dating. You've been dating her since before quarantine,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you said new, and it's like we've
It's
been living
new
this
and,
life for
What
a
it-
long time.
New is.
Yeah, I guess news. It's getting past that new date.
Okay.
being able
so
to say
it's-
no.
So you're kind of at the end of the honeymoon phase.
I guess so.
You had to think about that one. Are there repercussions for admitting that? No.
No, it's a natural phase, and it could last long.
fact.
It could last forever.
You'd like her,
We're
Rosa.
still
She's
on our
really
honeymoon,
nice.
right, babe?
We're you and me definitely. Would she ever join the show? I'd love to have her on.
I'd ask
And
her.
your mom on the same episode.
Oh God, I don't think Lisa would want
Have they-
that.
That's one for the
Have they met?
podcast awards. Yeah, they met over Zoom. Have you done a Zoom meeting?
I was zooming with my parents, and they were like, "We'd love to meet Lisa," and I was like, "Well, you're in luck. She's in the living room doing work. Do you want to say hi?"
Yeah,
Baby love.
So they said hi. They said hi for the first time.
that's good. I've an auspicious beginning.
Yeah.
The first of many to come, I'm sure. Have you met her parents?
No, but she has told her parents that I exist.
That's good. And do they approve of the idea of your existence?
I think her mom likes me. I don't know if her dad does or does not.
The dad will take some warming up to, and that's okay.
The dad
If
is
I've
in
learned
Moscow.
The dad is what? Oh, in Moscow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of warming up. It's pretty chilly there. If I've learned anything about my interactions with my serious other's parents, you and her mom are gonna hit it off right away. You two will be thick as thieves.
Her mom seems really nice. I haven't talked to
I
her
bet
yet.
she does. Good. I'm excited for you to meet them. Do you think they'll come on the podcast?
That's we have a tree of like you got to go through Lisa first. I think.
What if? Oh, I would love if it was your mom and her parents and Lisa, and actually not even with me on it. I just want to watch. No, I want to direct it.
Yeah, you want to be able to mute people.
Exactly. I would say, Eli, tell Lisa you love her, and then if you were to say it,
Danny, why did you mute my mom? I mute her.
Good times. So, you excited about this week of tapings, Eli?
I am. I am actually not sure who we have on deck.
Yes. They have only confirmed to Rick yet, but I have the lineup here on Friday. We will have Maria Ciampa and the newly engaged Chris Post. So I'm sure we'll hear all about Chris Post's proposal. Chris Proposal Post, they call him, and it is.
Chris Postposal?
Yeah, Chris Postposal.
Yeah.
He's post-single now, right? Because now he's engaged. On Saturday, this is exciting. DJ Hazard will be Rick's guest, and they're going to hear all about the
Oh, wow.
days. Well, you're going to hear about it. They're going to talk about it. I'm sure you'll
I will be there, yeah.
all sorts of stories about their terrible living situations and what the 80s were like. 'Cause
You know, the good old days.
The good old days. Boy, well, Rosa knows what the 80s were like. You were alive for
Baby.
some of them. Fun time in the 80s.
Yeah. Sure.
Good.
What was your favorite part about the 80s, Rosa?
Yes. Please enlighten us.
Probably all of the naps I was taking and all of the milk
Power
I was
naps.
drinking.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Dan Crone is way early. We're going to have to let him cook for a little bit. Sorry, folks.
Do you want me to send him a message in the waiting room?
No. Sure. Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I got a text from Brett saying he can barely hear us. So sorry, Brett. It'll be better when the podcast comes out. Don't know what to tell you.
I am working on it.
And then on Sunday we have Alicia Yaffe and Mike Pincus. So that'll be a fun show. And yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to do these sometimes, you know, because I talk so much throughout the week to all of my friends, and I'm so burnt out by the time Tuesday arrives already. Just all the talking I do, it can wear a young boy out, can't it, Rosa?
Oh yeah, I get pretty worn out. I had some Zoom birthday parties over the last week, and they're a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of people on the screen at once. And just like in a podcast where you have to mind your mic, not talk over each other, a Zoom birthday party, it's like, how do you know whose turn it is to say something? How do you carry on a conversation?
Yeah, you can't.
It's tough, and it drains you.
Yeah, I don't ever want to do a Zoom birthday party.
Noted.
Oh, God, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
We did a birthday party for my brother yesterday while he was driving in the car.
Yes, we did.
I don't know what qualified it as a party, It was basically just a three-way call with my parents.
I
The
would.
But my mom
party!
kept referring to it as a party. So
Yeah, you gotta.
yeah.
But if in November 2020, if this thing's still going, I don't want a sweet birthday. I'll just hang
Got
out at home.
Got it. Yeah. What would you want for your birthday?
Oh, probably a new face mask that says "Big Sexy Birthday Boy" on it.
That can be arranged.
Good.
That can be arranged.
When's your birthday, Eli?
August
Like
29th. August 29th.
Yeah, you might have to have a quarantine birthday.
It's possible, but I have roommates, so it's
Oh,
better.
Yeah.
I got to have an actual birthday party. It was the last social event we did before with lockdown.
Yep.
It was a little bit after my birthday. It was the weekend after. And I even wore a face mask on my way to Boston. It was February 14th.
Ahead of the curve.
Actually,
A month ahead of the curve.
I'll say that maybe Zoom holidays are actually the way to go with family gatherings, because you can leave whenever you want.
Yeah, but you also can't make up excuses to get out of them.
Who cares? What are they gonna do? Come over to you?
No, but
What are they gonna do about it?
Your absence will be noted.
It's true. It is true that during these times, it is hard to turn down any social invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And while it doesn't take much to attend one, you just can't say no.
Yeah. Well,
Unless you've scheduled something else.
Has there ever been a time where you've said no to something that you didn't want to go to, and it was hard to say no, but you did it?
Sure.
And how good did that feel?
Amazing.
Awful.
Exactly.
Awful.
No, I always feel bad if I say no to something.
Well, in the moment, sure, but like this,
That
It's
satisfaction
there's a
of
relief-
not
there's a relief-
going.
there's a relief-
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. There's a relief afterwards that
Yes.
you know.
Look, you gotta feel a bit of pain, and then you get your morphine.
Yeah.
I didn't get any morphine for my ankle. We didn't even go to the doctor. Isn't that a bummer?
I went to the Walgreens. I got you all kinds of stuff.
You got me compression socks, which hurt. The opposite of morphine.
Compression tape and compression wrap. I got 3 different compression devices.
Did-
There's so many products and items.
Didn't even give me any drugs I could get addicted to that would ruin my life. What kind of girlfriend are you?
Yeah.
Only got me stuff that would help me in the long run. So yeah, that's our week coming up. It's gonna be really exciting. How are you doing in quarantine, Eli? Are you getting sick of it?
I mean, yeah, of course, I'm getting sick of it. Of course, who isn't?
It's,
I don't think even like people that like play World of Warcraft all day are excited just staying home all day.
well, sure. Where's the thrill? Everyone's doing that now.
Yeah.
There's nothing exciting about playing World of Warcraft when that's all you're allowed to do.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wearing on me. I was a crank yesterday. I was in a mood.
You're a bit of a crank, but I've been crankier than you, I think. I've had more moody days.
We do try to take turns.
Yep.
If one of us is like, I'm in a mood today, the other one is not allowed to also be in a mood.
There's got to be balance, Eli, and that's something you and Lisa can discuss.
Balance. We'll talk about
Yeah.
balance at our next meeting.
There we go.
You call them meetings?
No, but
Okay, good. 'Cause that is a bad.
hey, Lisa, are you free to meet at 2:30 tomorrow? Can you pencil that in?
Could you clear your schedule?
You know what? Danny and I started watching. Will I embarrass you if I tell you the trash we've been consuming?
No, please.
So we started watching 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Define good.
Yeah, it's
It's awful.
but we like consuming it. I mean, it makes us feel better about our lives and our relationship.
Yes.
Like,
Is
not
this-
better? We feel good about our relationship, but it makes us feel extra good.
Yes, and you will as well, Eli.
I've mostly been hearing about the guy who goes to like Soviet Union and he's like 60. He's got that.
David.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I've mostly been hearing about that guy. That's
Well, like the big
crazy.
shock.
Okay, so there's a spoiler alert for 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days.
That's right.
So if you are watching the show and haven't caught up, skip ahead. Just turn the episode off. It's not going to
So-
get better from
So
here.
David is 60 years old.
He's a
been
good-looking
speaking-
guy.
He's got
He's
good
got
hair.
money.
He's got a lot of hair on his head. And he's been dating this woman through a website for 7 years.
Mhm.
She lives in Ukraine.
It costs him money to talk to her.
Yeah, he uses this website that costs money.
He spent
And-
$100,000 over 7 years.
Oh,
to talk
God.
To this woman.
That's
It's
right.
cool.
That's right. He claims she doesn't get any money through the website, but when the producers asked her if she's getting money from him, she asked to skip the question. So
Mm.
we know the answer is yes.
Yeah, why wouldn't she be getting any money?
I
Now,
mean,
he tried to arrange 4 visits with her in the past. There was like a cruise, there was some other shit. He tried to go see her. He flew to the Ukraine. And every time she just stood him up. He hired a private investigator, and this private investigator was like, yo, she's got at least 10 other profiles. She's talking to other men. This woman is scamming you. You got to give it up. And he fired the private investigator.
He was like, you're fired.
You're fucking fired. And so then he decides a 5th time to fly to Ukraine to meet her. And no one believed she was real. But she fucking showed up.
She showed up.
Finally showed up. And now it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
And now they're like the most successful couple on the show.
So well, that's because all the other couples have had a chance to fall apart.
So the reason Rosa brings this up now is because one of the characters on the show is named Lisa. Mm-hmm. She is incredibly unlikable.
She's probably the most unlikable character on the show.
That Lisa does not speak for all Lisas.
No, I would hope not, Eli. No. And she is dating an aspiring local rap star from Nigeria whose name is
Soulja Boy.
But he goes by Soulja Boy. Yeah, so you're familiar.
I've been hearing a little bit about the show.
You're well versed in the ancient texts, Eli.
I was just listening to another podcast that doesn't exist, and they were mentioning Soulja Boy, who's different from Soulja Boy, who is also different from American rapper Soulja Boy.
But she's awful. She's awful, and she pronounces it Soulja Boy sometimes.
She does.
So I don't know if she, but whatever. She's awful. Do you know the hit song Soulja Boy wrote for Lisa?
I know it's like I will get you, girl, or something like that.
It's called Baby Girl Lisa. And now that is what we call all Lisas, unfortunately.
Oh no.
I'm personally upset because I really like the name Lisa, and I've been thinking for the last year that if I had a baby girl, I would name her Lisa.
When we have a baby girl. No, if. Definitely if. We name her Lisa, but then what do we call her, Eli?
We can't even call her baby girl Lisa.
Baby girl Lisa.
Because it's very triggering.
This woman is
a monster, a nightmare.
Unctuous.
Yeah.
Odious, Eli. I'm telling you. You gotta watch this show. Yes, she's like a fly that you slap out of the air. So yeah, that's why Baby Girl Lisa is so funny to us. I did want to say, if you're listening to this show and you haven't signed up for the Comedy Studio mailing list, please do, because we have some exciting shit coming up. We teased it last week. We're gonna go ahead and give you the beans now.
Ooh.
Next Saturday, June 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be putting on our first live stand-up comedy show since March 15th. Now, it will be over the internet because we're still in pandemic. But it's going to be live. It'll have Rick at the club. It's going to have a great group of people. And maybe you can be one of the laughers. Stay tuned for more info. Tickets will be up this week. But if you haven't, please sign up to our mailing list on our website, thecomedystudio.com/ you did it.
Oh no.
Don't do that. It's / good job. And sign up for our mailing list because you're going to get links to this shit and maybe learn how to be part of it if you'd like to be. And we've got a great lineup already. We've got some people who have not confirmed yet, but we've got some people who have confirmed. One of those people who have confirmed, I'm going to admit him now. He's our special guest of the day. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Dan Crone.
Yay!
Welcome, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
How are you?
Am I coming in clear? That's my.
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry to make you wait for so long.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
What's that?
My shitty line from Willy Wonka.
Am I coming in clear?
My TV.
Yeah.
Coming in clear.
Oh, very good, very good.
Crap. Whatever. That was my lead-in joke.
That's okay. That's okay. I think there's one person watching live on Facebook, and it's Brett. So there's no one you have to worry about impressing. Everyone loves you.
What's up, Brett?
Happy. Hi, Brett.
Hey, Brett.
Dan,
good to see you all.
Welcome to the show. It's good to see
you.
Dan. How are you holding up in quarantine?
I'm not in quarantine. I'm in. No, I'm doing great. I'm thriving.
Have you made any human contact, any physical contact in the last 2 months?
I have.
Oh,
yeah. You got to take risks, right?
Take risks.
What was your big risk?
Take risks.
Take risks.
What about you guys?
We are doing okay.
We're doing all right. Danny destroyed his fucking ankle.
Yeah, I sprained my ankle, Dan.
Ooh. Right.
Yeah, I know
Nothing
you
worse than an
feel it.
injury in the pandemic.
Well, it's nice that I don't have to be anywhere and I can just prop my foot up all day. So that has worked out
Sure,
nice.
sure.
It has put a tiny cloud over our summer plans, but that's okay.
What-
Oh, summer plans. This is. I mean,
mean,
this is.
our summer plans being like go for a walk every day at minimum, and our more ambitious plans of like going running and rollerblading every day.
Are you gonna get the wheelchair and pull them via rollerblade?
Oh, that would be awesome.
You know, I do have 2 longboards. I think we could rig something
could
up.
build me a little throne and I could
Go
just
for it.
That sounds
walk
great.
downtown.
Yeah.
Get a little
All right.
umbrella on it.
Summer plans back on track.
Yes, we did it. You got any summer plans, Mr. Dan Crone?
I was supposed to be in St. Martin next week, but that's off.
Oh, why? What happened?
Something. I don't know. Something happening.
Do you still have all those shows that you had booked like in your calendar, so you keep getting the notifications for them?
I mean, I still have dates in July and August that I assume are still happening. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've just gotten. I remember like some spots that I booked for. I put them in my calendar. It'd be like May 17th. It'd be like, hey, you're supposed to be doing this show at this bar. I'm like, well, I'm not.
Well, yeah. I was supposed to record my album last weekend, but.
Oh yeah.
You were. You've been working on new shit for the last while. Very exciting stuff. Any plans to record the album once we're out of quarantine? Have you made any definite rescheduling plans?
Yeah. Well, the label I'm with, I mean, there's talks about that, and they're
That's
open
good.
to anything that happens. A lot of my material though, like I like working on new stuff. So some of the stuff doesn't translate that well now that we're in the pandemic.
Yeah.
If you guys know my jokes, like
Lot of
hospital
handshaking.
selfie, that doesn't go over well.
No, probably
My
not.
Uber to the emergency room might have to change that up. But,
But it's also in vogue now to take Ubers to the emergency room. Everyone's doing it.
I tried to call my neighbor an Uber to the emergency room yesterday.
Not for coronavirus.
No.
Her husband fell and broke his pelvis, and she
Oh.
got him an ambulance, but then she needed to get to the hospital, and they wouldn't let her in. And I didn't want to drive her.
Ugh.
I was like, I'll call you an Uber, and she decided to ride a bicycle. So
Not a single person ordered you an Uber to the hospital,
that
Danny.
active, like when you said, am I being like social? Like I can count on one hand the times that I've like hung out with people and
Sure.
done
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you expect this to be over? You think we got a hard end date here, or?
No, I think it's going to be a long haul.
yeah. Are you in Massachusetts, Dan?
Yeah, I'm in Somerville.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're in phase 1 now, right?
I don't know. I'm waiting it all out. I don't.
Phase 1 is Dan Crone comedy.
I'd like all these guinea pigs to show me what's going to happen, and then I'll figure it out on my own.
So you're gonna
Las
wait
Vegas.
even after the clubs open again. You might wait a little bit just to see. Give it a 2-week
what does
buffer.
Gallman say? Jews, we're cautious, so we've been in a few pickles, to quote the great Gary Gallman. I'm an introvert with OCD, so I was made for this.
Yeah, you're thriving.
Yeah,
It's your best life you're living.
It's fantastic. I got a backyard. I'm about to spend 7 or 8 hours as soon as I'm done with you guys.
Oh, you got a yard.
Yeah, pretty
That's
rare
nice.
for Somerville, but yeah, I want to go out and do things too. I'm just trying to every for the rest of our lives, we're gonna have to weigh risk and how we conduct ourselves. But again, that's every day. You can walk outdoors and a plane can fall on your head. So who knows?
So you're ahead of the curve in that sense, because I'm certainly going to be a lot more aware of surfaces I touch. And
But CDC just came out with surfaces aren't big of a deal. It's more person to person.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So-
I could have been
so many-
touching all this stuff.
Well, again, like it's not like I'm going to start licking counters, but this is really it's somebody has it and you're with that person. That's how you get this. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the whole like washing things down. Just being protective and
Yeah, definitely. I was not.
But I think it's before if you want an answer to answer your question, there has to be a vaccine for things to be back to normal.
Yeah, and we're gonna get that in a couple months. I think 2 months, 3 months.
Let's hope for the best and expect the worst and say it would be cool if August 8th they find hey, something's up, or next August of 2021.
That's more likely.
Please have a little faith, Rosa.
I'm reading all the articles. There's a lot of good stuff that's happening, but let's just we'll wait till it happens, of course.
Do you have roommates or do you live
Nah,
alone?
I live
Well,
alone.
that's nice at least.
It is. I'm an
I-
adult, like a real adult.
Do
I
you
know.
have any animals though, like something that you're getting touch?
I would love a dog, but not right now. No.
Names and like I would get so jazzed when they'd shut up. It would sometimes distract me from my professional business meetings. By business, I mean research because I'm a
Wow.
scientist.
So
but
you're still employed. That's good.
I am. I'm still employed, which is yay for me. But I do miss them. My bird friend, my squirrel, Tony,
Tony.
Cardi B, Redward. You know the whole crew. What
The
are they?
whole gang.
They must be missing me.
They will probably have changed so much by the time you get back to Bethesda.
All
They'll be
grown
big
up.
birds.
You can regale each other with your quarantine tales. Now, Eli, you have roommates.
I do. Yes.
I was just reading a piece in the New Yorker about a house in Bushwick that had 6 people that has completely crumbled emotionally during the pandemic.
Oh,
How's how are the waters in your house, Eli? Are people getting along? Are
People are
respecting each other?
antsy, but we're getting along just fine.
Antsy? That's good. Do you see a break coming?
No, I don't really see a break coming. We're not fighting.
Well, no
We're
one
just
in his house
antsy.
has taken up sex work.
That's true.
Not
One of the
yet,
people
not
in
yet.
This house took up sex work to pay the bills and was bringing a lot of men into the house, and her roommates had some issues with that. So as long as none of your roommates do that, Eli,
Yeah, I'd have an issue with that as well.
you
Not
are
the sex
good.
work, but the bringing them home.
No, the bringing people. Yeah,
Bringing lots of strangers in. That's just a lot of
yeah.
communicability.
Do it outside.
Brutal.
We can hose you down.
Brutal.
Dan, you represented. I saw Boston and the Coast to Coast roast, which was put together by Mark Norman and Joe List. Was
They were the hosts, but it was put together by the Helium Comedy Club.
Helium. I want to hear about that. How did they pick you? What was it like roasting people over Zoom? Was it a fun experience?
It was not. It was horrible.
Okay.
I don't know if you know me. I kind of like just stand up only.
So do you even do? So you don't even do roasts like?
We're
in
roasting
clubs?
other cities.
Like comics from other cities or the cities?
No, the cities themselves.
Okay, that's hard.
It's hard when to find stuff to roast about Atlanta, but maybe it wasn't because they were one of the first states to go back to. So I hopped on that. Myself and another comic, Will Noonan, were the representatives from Boston, and as the best we could have done, it didn't matter because people hate Boston.
Yeah.
What?
So the audience votes. So we never had a shot ever.
Jeez.
Yeah. People really hate Boston, and I get it. It's awesome.
They hate Boston more than other cities and scenes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, people really hate us.
What do they hate the most?
Not that bad.
Our arrogance and how we think we're better than everybody, which is true.
But we are better than everybody.
We do
I
win.
get it. Yeah.
We win a lot.
It's tough to read the comments though when 600 people are like, "I hate Boston."
Oh, and there were comments. Ugh.
Doesn't that make you just feel so good inside?
Were people commenting about you specifically as well? Like, do you have
so
to
I'm smart enough to not read the comments when I'm going.
That's good.
But
That's good.
I did have fun. I was very nervous for it, and it did give me a good task to sit and think about stuff. And but at the essence, again, I like to do jokes really only. It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke, if you're familiar with it. Like comics, I'm going to screw it up, but he says like a lot of when you do stand up, people want you to do things outside of stand up. Like they want you to do this and that, and you host a show or do that. And it's not about the jokes. It's like asking a chef, like, "Hey, you're a really good chef, but can you farm?"
Yeah.
So, at the essence, all I want to do is just tell jokes. But what it did is get me in front of a lot of the club owners who run a lot of the clubs across the country. So it was a good opportunity for sure.
That's good. Have you been doing stand-up over Zoom? Do you like that?
Sure, yeah. I like it. I don't like it like I like regular stand-up, but it gives you about, I think, 20 to 35% of the feel of a real show, and I'll take that.
All right, yeah, it's like methadone.
Yeah, we did one last week for Nowhere Comedy Club. And that was amazing. That
good.
Felt like 70% of a show.
Hey, there we go. You think there's going to be any attitude for these Zoom shows once clubs can open again?
I think there will still be Zoom shows, but I don't think it's going to take over because we always thought that the internet would destroy live comedy. We thought that 15 years ago, and it did not.
No.
Yeah.
It tried.
It tried. Yeah, no, people really value the live experience, and they know what it is to be with a group of people and how infectious, which is an unfortunate word. But
Are you able to tell if a bit is going well or poorly on a Zoom show?
yeah, well, it depends what kind of comedian you are. So if you're able to approach it as like this joke worked, yes or no, then yeah.
And you're able to hear some audience feedback.
Yeah, what was really cool about the show we did last week was that there are moderators that run the room, and they are able to mute people with excessive background noise, like children, or so they're actually like bouncers technically, and they can press mute on that, and if you unmute it after being distracted, they can kick you out of the room, which is like a regular bouncer. And then they were also able to highlight audience members that were listening intently without distraction. So there's a couple, sitting in their living room, they got a blanket over and they've got their drinks in their hand and they're keeping eye contact. Then the bouncers or moderators are able to be like, oh, make sure their mic is turned on. They are real audience members. But seeing a guy like talking to his wife and then, his dog starts barking. So again, it really depends on what kind of comedian you are. If you're looking for the whole show to be great, it's going to be kind of tough. But again, if you're able to be like, this joke worked, this one didn't, then that's how you can value succeeding on this.
Are you writing any new stuff for these shows?
I have been, yeah, definitely.
Good for you.
Yeah, I think it's like I use Twitter obviously as a great way to get material out. So like, did I sit with my Twitter feed and transcribe all the quarantine jokes into a 5-minute routine? Yep.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that work. So I mean, I'll take a couple hours a day to do that, and that's my favorite thing to do.
So when you write, do you write with the Zoom audience in mind? Does that change how you
not
tackle
at all.
a joke?
I have some new stuff that's like because of video conferencing.
Sure.
Like I'll be like, so I've been traveling. Like, that works just for Zoom shows.
Yeah.
And it's good to be here in my living room away from any physical person. Like I'll have that stuff, but no, my new 5 is like pretty much about being quarantined and those kind of materials. So, and then I'll be like, all right, back to my hilarious tweets. I mean, jokes.
I mean, it must be so relatable since in this present moment, we are all going through the same thing. There's variations on it. Some of us are employed. Some of us are essential workers. Some of us are alone or together. But there's a lot of common ground right now.
Definitely. And people want to hear about it. I've been doing like these Zoom happy hour gigs where I'll preface my material by saying like, hey guys, most of these jokes are pre-COVID, so let's just understand that is a thing. I'm going to be doing an act, like especially if they want you to do a lot of time, to be like, hey, it's not all going to be quarantine jokes. Like I'm going to do my act, and there's going to be some things here that you're going to be like, well, that doesn't apply now, but like you're going to have to give me the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah,
of course.
Danny and I have discussed. He thinks there's not going to be an appetite for movies about quarantine once it's all over.
Ooh.
Where do you fall next?
I agree with that. I agree that there's going to be jokes about it, but I don't think anybody's going to want to sit around and watch like the 9/11 documentary after 3 months.
I think that movie's going to have to come like 2 or 3 years after it's all over.
That's the always. I mean, the first.
It's going to be about. It has to be about the virus and like escaping the virus. Like, can we write movies about like us just sitting around in our living room?
It was the worst of times.
I mean, it's just not as
Xbox.
Yeah. Even the first 9/11 movies, they came out in like 2006. There was like a 5-year gap.
When did that Mark Wahlberg movie about the Boston bombing come out? That was like
2013, I think.
I auditioned to be in that movie.
Did you?
Oh.
To play the robot cheetah?
To play an FBI agent, and they told me that it was an insignificant role, so like just a background role, which I do. I was like, great, I'll do that. And then I showed up and they gave me the script, and it was like the guy who finds the bomber through the video. Like it was like a huge role, and I was like, could have told me about that. But I actually had a callback for that. I obviously didn't get it, but that was I forgot. There was 2 out at the same time, I believe.
Yeah, there was the Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal played one of the guys who lost his legs, and he went through recovery, and then the Mark Wahlberg was
He was a
Marky
made-up
Mark.
cop who saved the day.
He was an amalgamation of all of the various like.
I'm done with Marky Mark.
Don't make a new character just for Mark Wahlberg to come in and fucking save the day. I don't know. I liked the movie. It was a good movie, but that was a little silly.
Yeah.
We are so we mentioned we're going to be putting on our own live stand-up show that Dan Crone will be on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This
Absolutely.
past weekend, Eli tried some different ways to have live audience, and I want to hear how that went, Eli.
I tried integrating a different app into the show to see if that would work better for having an audience listen in, so that it wouldn't just be over Zoom. But it turned out to be more complicated than I thought, so if it does work out, it'll have to be later, and we'll try at a different time.
Yep, we tried to use Discord.
Yeah, the gaming app.
I believe your exact words, Eli, were, well, this is way too complicated than any stand-up show has to be.
I was...
complicated than any...
Yeah.
And your goal is to get laughers, right?
Yes.
You want a subset of audience to be the laughers.
Which we can do over Zoom. So I think...
Zoom seems to be the right way to do it.
It's just the simpler way. Why make it more
There's no
complicated?
technology right now that can streamline all audience members into one audio feed. Because I think that's what we would be after, so that the loudest laughter isn't the one that's featured.
Yeah, I think that's what Eli was exactly trying to do.
I like Discord because it lets you mix every person's volume separately.
Ooh.
So as opposed to just muting or unmuting, you can set people's volume levels differently.
I was part of a focus group last week with a company called Rally, and they had some new software that they.
Ooh.
So I tested it with them, and I did a couple minutes for their audience to see how it worked in like a Shark Tank situation. I picked them apart, and I was like, "This doesn't work. Sorry."
That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
But they were like, we'd love to have you talk to the audience, and I was like, how about you give me just 5 minutes of material? I could do 5 minutes of jokes, and they're like, that would be great. So I just did like all new and used it as an open mic, and then they were really nice people again, but I was like, yeah, Zoom's better. They were like, what do we need to do? And I was like, get your technology better.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Skype shit the bed on this one.
I agree.
Yeah,
they got a huge...
Good point.
Skype blockbustered themselves. It's crazy.
Yes, they did.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
If I was an investor or long time, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be upset. It seems like Zoom came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I never heard of it. Yeah.
I had not either.
Me neither.
And now it's like the accepted standard.
We're using it right now.
Here we are. Thanks, Zoom.
Because it is better. It's better than Skype.
Skype
has been around since like 2003 or something.
And
I bet in like a couple months we'll get maybe something different, but hopefully by then we're out of this.
Yeah. Right. I wonder if companies are even trying to work on a fix because...
I think Zoom shows will probably, once this is over, I think Zoom shows will probably stay, but I don't see it being the main way people get comedy.
No.
I love it for podcasts. It's
I
nice.
enjoy it. After these Zoom gigs, I press, end meeting, and I'm like, and I'm home.
Yeah. I don't have to make small talk with anyone after the show, before the show. I could just
drive over.
I didn't realize how much of an introvert I was until the pandemic, but I wasn't too great on the whole handshaking before this.
Yeah, I remember when everyone started doing the bumps.
Elbow thing.
Yeah.
We did it pretty early at the studio.
Yeah,
the studio was the first place. I walked in, I was like, "Don't shake my hand."
I remember Bulger was like, "Why did you just shake Brett's hand?"
Yeah.
I was like,
I think Bulger and I came in at the same day, and we were like, no shaking. And people were like, why not? And then we were like, you'll see.
And then 2 weeks later, everything was shut down. It was remarkably quick.
Actually, to be quite honest, Bulger didn't believe it until the NBA was canceled.
And that was even a week. That was a few days before.
Oh yeah,
the
late
shit
February.
really hit the fan.
Watch, this is gonna get pretty serious. And people were like, oh, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Dan, do you follow the Boston Comedians Facebook group page?
I don't.
Oh. Well,
Rosa broke the first one.
That's true. On February 11th, I posted just like a PSA being like, y'all should start sanitizing your mics between comics. You can use like Lysol wipes, spray, gel, whatever. It dries real quick. And that was a full month before the NBA or the lockdown or any of this shit.
Right.
And everyone was like, stop trolling us and being racist. And I survived H1N1. I got all this flack.
Mm-hmm.
Danny was like, I don't know if you should be posting on Boston Comedians. These guys are jerks.
They're also not really comedians.
Yeah.
You do know that, right? I mean, as much as
What?
gossip, and I posted yesterday, I like the gossip too, but there's people there who don't have any business holding a microphone.
Yeah.
That's what Reddit's for.
That's what Reds and podcasts. I'm not. My mic is held for me by a nice stand, so I don't even have to. Oh gosh, what else is in the news? Dan, I wanted to talk a little bit about the I'm Fine shows that you do with Kelly McFarland. Can you tell us about how that started and what it's like doing that?
We just did our last one on Friday, but we're going to turn it into a monthly showcase of stand-up called We're Fine.
Are you going to
Nice.
sell it to CBS?
I think we're just going to do it to get a little extra cash. Really cool, though. Great. I mean, again, Kelly's one of my best friends in comedy, and it was really just a thing for us to just reach out to comics. But it kind of ran its course of there's only so many comics you can ask, like, how you doing? And what are you doing to get by? And then the regular person's like, yeah, I'm unemployed, too. It's,
yeah, you've heard it
of
all.
I get it.
Right now, a third.
Wow.
That's a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
really fun, but then like the booking, and you guys know, booking is thankless, and it's people hitting me up. I haven't talked to them in like 8 years. They're like, oh, I'd love to do your show. I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Do they even preface it with like, hope you're doing okay, or do they just dive right into?
It's like,
Yeah.
hope you're well.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I love booking so much more than performing. It's so much more rewarding, and
The power.
you feel so good when.
I think we had a guest in the last week of it where I didn't even know who she was, and I was like, all right, it's enough.
It's jumps the shark at this point.
You're not fine.
I mean, also like it was such a hang talking to some comedians. I was like, we can just do this like privately.
Yeah.
Why do we have to have everybody watching it?
Yeah.
Because you're comedians.
Which is nice, and it's like we're all trying to figure out how to reinvent ourselves. But now that there's like Zoom shows, and again, it's few and far between, I realized I was like, hey, same thing I talked about in the beginning. Like, I want my online presence to be jokes first, and
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff second, which is fine. I love talking comedy, sure. But then like we were talking about like, what are you doing to get by and stuff like that, and then like if I don't know who the person is, then like who cares?
Hard to make conversation.
Yeah.
With a stranger.
So
At
yeah.
the best of times.
And there's not a lot of new stuff going on. Like for the
No,
past
there's
few
not
weeks,
much.
it's like, oh, I'm baking sourdough, and I started a craft project.
I got a Lego Batmobile, 4,000 pieces.
And now it's like I baked a shoe.
Did you? Are you? Oh, how's that? Have you built it yet?
So I bought it like early March,
And
I just started it yesterday.
I love those big Lego sets.
How many?
I love it.
How many pages is the instruction book?
Oh, it's so thick. I did it. Let's see if you can see it. It's my Slav one, which is if you guys Star Wars.
Yeah.
Boba Fett ship.
And that was the winter of 2014, where we had like crazy. Were you guys here when we had like 4 blockbuster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that. Yeah.
That was when the snowbanks were like as tall as you.
Oh yes, that was my first.
So
We were long distance at the time, so Danny would take the bus from New York, and then he would have to somehow get from the bus station to my house, walking with his backpack between, tundra. And
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
No,
You're welcome.
It's like a
I
puzzle.
am welcome.
It's a puzzle, but it's more fun.
Yeah, and it looks better than a puzzle once it's completed too.
It's and it's great. It's like so I did it yesterday. I spent like 7 hours on it yesterday, and I got through a whole series of podcasts, and it was such a great way to like put down the phone and just really get off the internet and just double down on nerd stuff. I love that stuff.
It's like meditative. Like gardening and cooking, all those little activities that they're monotonous-ish, but you're actually making something.
Right.
It feels good. You get a little dopamine.
We've got a great little indoor garden here that we started.
You and my mom, she's like doing hydroponic farming and then converting it to outside.
Hydroponic.
Yeah, all sorts of fun stuff. Huh?
Nice.
You what podcast you listening to?
Right now, I just finished the Wolverine podcast. If you are familiar with.
Oh yeah.
First, what's it called? The Long Night, I believe it's called. Yeah, so I'm getting through that, and then
I think Chris Gethard was on that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's
Didn't
one
he
of
have
the
a bit part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else am I going to do after that? Oh, I was going to re-listen to World War Z audiobook, but
yeah, a little scary now, but
yeah, I don't know I've listened to it before. It's very ominous. There's like this undercutting music that's like makes you feel really weird. So my love of I have a huge love of apocalyptic stuff, which has like made me get ready for this.
Me
but
too.
I don't know if I want to get into it now because I feel like it might trigger some dreams.
Have you visited or revisited The Stand lately?
No, never. I never read The Stand.
Oh, it's a classic super flu decimates the whole planet story.
I guess I should get into that, right?
It's very chilling.
I don't
to
see
read
what
now.
that has to do with anything.
Yeah, it just randomly came to me.
No, before this, I was a huge zombie apocalypse guy. So
Are you surprised that this is what we got instead of a zombie apocalypse?
I'm thankful.
You're thankful? Yeah, this is better.
Well, I was talking with my roommates about it.
It's very close, but I suppose I would rather be living like this than afraid of
Like
zombies.
early March, though, like my prepper brain was like, yeah, what if the fucking grid falls? And like, so this is a joke, and I hate doing jokes, but I'll do one.
No.
You can tell my mental state by my Amazon purchase history.
Oh yeah.
Mid-March, I bought a survivalist radio that you can have a hand crank, and it's solar powered. It could charge your phone. It's got a light. And last week I bought tiramisu Oreos.
That's good.
But in mid-March, I was like, yeah, what if the worst comes to worst, and there's martial law, and it mutates, and there's fast-moving zombies? Of course, I was thinking that. Again, hope for the best, expect the worst.
Oh yeah, I started tracking in late January and started ordering supplies. Like I ordered a box of N95s in late January and 2 cans of Lysol, box of gloves. Like I started prepping. I got my closet filled with dried goods.
Oh yeah, I got all that. I got enough for like a year.
Yeah, I was ready.
A lot of beans.
I was ready for it.
Yeah.
I also get into the
I gotta go grocery
stuff.
shopping.
We don't have to talk details, but like in 8th grade, I was into virology. I read the Hot Zone, and I thought, oh yeah, I want to study Ebola and work in a level 4 biohazard lab. It'll be so exciting.
Yeah, I'm all about that stuff.
Yeah, so I was mentally preparing, emotionally preparing.
I'm a Walking Dead fan. I was reading that comic book 15 years ago when it started before the show, and yeah, all the Max Brooks stuff and Day by Day, Armageddon. I love all that stuff.
Yeah. Were you watching on Twitter in Wuhan what was going on at the time? Like there were videos being leaked. I was watching the videos of the police.
Oh no, not videos.
They were welding people in their apartment buildings.
In January, like my brother, I was supposed to be in Florida in April, and I had a huge trip. And in January, my brother's like, "Hey, be prepared that we're not going to go on that trip." He's like, "This could get serious." So it actually helped me a lot. So when the trip canceled, I was like, you know what? No, I was ready for this. It wasn't a big surprise, but
that was the biggest benefit. It wasn't that I ordered masks or gloves or stocked up. The best thing about me preparing in late January, early February was the mental and emotional preparedness to be locked home for an extended period of time.
And yet you sugarcoated it to me.
A little bit. I didn't want to alarm you and why?
I'm so calm and cool, baby.
Yeah.
I don't let anything get me down.
Well, I just,
It's like don't jump the shark. You don't want to turn this into a relationship podcast.
No, first it's going to become a TV recap podcast, because those are all the rage now, and then it's going to be a relationship podcast.
Well, relationship podcasts pack theaters, so don't.
Oh, that's true.
Idea.
Did you hear about that Barstool Sports podcast, Call Her Daddy, that's imploded now?
What happened?
Yeah.
The hosts, I think they started fighting, and they started fielding different offers from people to continue the podcast, and
basically, I think it was just a ripoff of Guys We Fucked.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you a fan, Eli?
I haven't listened to it. I know it.
Are you what the Guys We Fucked are no? We are nearing the end of the show. We like to do something where we give comedy recommendations. We go around the horn, say something in the world of comedy we've been enjoying this past week. Eli, do you want to kick us off?
Yes. This is not. It's not like a movie or a TV show. Me and my roommate have been playing this game that I got on my Switch called Deadly Premonition.
Okay.
It's an old horror game from 2010.
Sounds funny so far.
It is insanely bad, but in a really, really hilarious way. There are so many features in the game that make absolutely no sense that are just so funny.
What's an example of a feature that makes no sense?
This is a horror mystery game where you play an FBI agent, and for some reason there is a hunger meter, a sleep meter. It's open world. You can shave. You can change your suit for absolutely no reason.
Like Fallout to me.
Yeah. There's driving in it, but the driving is, imagine if your car was a bar of soap on a wet countertop. That is what the driving is like in the game. And you have to drive for so far we've passed by so many different places that it looks like you can go into them, but it just says closed above it, and we're almost at the end of the game and have not gone in them. Like, there's just so much unnecessary stuff in this game. And the dialogue...
There's some slackers in the making the game.
I
They
think it was
think
made by
that-
one guy. Is what it like when you play the game. It feels like it was made by one person, and the dialogue is insane. Like there's a part in the game where you go to a diner because you need to like talk to one of the owners because he's a suspect. And when you go to order a regular turkey sandwich, this guy comes in, like the guy who apparently owns the entire town. He tells you that you should instead get his favorite sandwich, which is a sandwich that is a turkey sandwich that has raspberry jam and cereal on it.
Okay.
I'm listening.
And he makes you get it, and it turns out to be the most delicious sandwich you've ever had in your life. And for some reason, that is a scene in this horror game.
It's a deadly premonition.
Yeah, it's really
Great,
funny.
I'll never play it. Dan, do you yourself have a comedy recommendation?
So, like things that I'm enjoying online, or
Yeah, just any comedy thing that you've.
I'm a big podcast comedy nerd. I am enjoying Greg Fitzsimmons' podcast every Sunday. He has something called Sunday Papers. Where
Okay.
he just reads the papers with his best friend Mike Gibbons, who's a writer
Ah.
on TV, and that's every
calming.
Sunday. I really enjoy that one. I get my news basically from that.
Okay.
I'm enjoying a lot of live streaming things that aren't comedy though. A lot of like two of my favorite bands. This guy Ben Nichols from a band called Lucero, and just another guy Jeff Rosenstock. They've been going live.
Oh yeah, he
on
just put a new
Instagram
album out.
Live, and I've been watching their acoustic performances. And I mean that another thing to just, I mean Ben from Lucero did 2 hours on Instagram Live last Friday, and it
Wow.
was just so good. And just remembering music, and they're doing it for free. And Jeff Rosenstock just came out with a brand new album last
Yeah.
week.
How do you like it?
Oh, I love it. And this is the
awesome.
second time he's done an unannounced album,
Mhm.
which is so cool.
Yeah.
This last time he did it was on New Year's, 3 years ago.
Yep.
And then and it's so weird with the internet and fans, you think you would have heard something about it releasing, but just looking through my emails, I'm like, oh wait, is this a new song? And then I was like, oh no, I think this is like an EP. I went, oh wait, is this like a rare? No, this is a new album.
It's the best feeling. Yeah.
And that is like, he's my favorite. Rosenstock's my favorite right now, and has been for the last couple of years. So that was like the best ever.
He's really. So I got into him through Josh Gondelman, who was.
Okay, great. Josh and I were actually at his live album recording.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
The Death Rosenstock album that came out a couple months ago. We were at that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
He's great. Every song is just.
He's an
such a
amazing
killer.
songwriter. He can write so many different kinds of songs.
Mhm.
His output is incredible. I mean, just constantly creating music, and has been a real joy of like music listening for the last couple of years.
Nice. What a great recommendation. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, definitely.
We, of course, would like to jointly recommend 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days
Pillow Talk.
and Pillow Talk.
Just the Pillow
Just
Talk
Pillow
one.
Talk, yes. Well, I'll recommend the other one. It's absolute trash TV. You watch these couples who are just broken angels who, like, think that they'll find love overseas and they don't. And it's... I've laughed, I'll admit it, but it's a sad laugh.
What's nice about Pillow Talk is this show, it gets very meta. So Pillow Talk, you're watching people who have formerly been on earlier seasons of this show watch the current season of the show and react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we started watching it because Danny was like, oh, Stuckey and Murray are producers for this show, and we think they're funny guys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the music of Stuckey and Murray you should also check out. They're a very funny comedy rock band.
Yeah, so we checked it out, and it is a much nicer way to watch the show because when you watch just the regular show, everyone is so awful, it makes you feel kind of very icky. But when you watch with the couples that have been, I guess, successful.
Are you familiar with 90 Day Fiancé, Dan? Oh, so it's these couples who they go overseas to find love. It's funded by TLC.
They basically meet someone online, and then they're trying to decide if they want to initiate a K-1 visa process, which is if you are going to marry someone in the States, you have 90 days after they arrive to get married. Like they issue the visa, and then you have 90 days to get married. And so I guess the main show, 90 Day Fiancé, usually follows people for those 90 days. But this series is before the 90 days, so most of them have not met yet. they're not sure if they're being catfished or
It's gone in
scammed.
60 seconds.
A lot of catfishing.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're seeing a lot of really pathetic people, a lot of sad, delusional people. There's some real mental illness going. So it's a lot to stomach. And then when you watch the Pillow Talk version, you have, some nicer people who are more level-headed, and they're reacting to the show with you.
So if you ever get tired of believing in humanity, check
Yeah.
out 90 Day Fiance. Put you right in your place. Dan Crone, thanks so much for joining the show. Where can we find you?
Thank you for having me. My website, dancrone.com, is
dancrone.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't look at that gig calendar though.
And we'll see you on the June 6th Comedy Studio show. We're so excited.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Dan. Take care.
Good to see you.
All right, bye, Dan.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.